Hi family, welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations with Isa Favored. It's good to have you here. I said it earlier on when I spoke to my guest when we were still welcoming each other, and it felt, and I'm stealing this from David of Radio 2000 when it says it's good to have you here. So yes, it's good to have you here. Thank you for joining in and tuning into the conversation. Like I always say, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do, like now. Subscribe now. Just go there, click to the bottom, click subscribe, click the notification button so that when we upload conversations every 2 weeks, you're able to catch up on the conversations. Today, I'm excited about this conversation. I hope it will excite you too. Because I am excited when I spoke to the guy that I'm going to unveil very soon. We had a very interesting conversation on the phone, and he says, I'm good looking. I'm like, yeah, you are very good looking. And it was said in the middle of all other things that we're talking about. So you will see that I'm having a conversation with a very handsome young man who is passionate about life and transformation. His name is Relebogile Medupe. Medupe, yeah. Oh. Yeah, Medupe, right? Okay, I did not butcher the surname. Yeah, he is a self-motivated individual, client-oriented, a problem solver with a demonstrated ability to adapt to new challenges. And then I was saying to him, there's a lot in terms of his profile. He does a lot of mentorship and community engagement, and he is passionate about youth. And I said to him, your profile does not say anything about you being a child of God. So he says, yeah, it's because it's a generic profile that I do. But I've seen him, he loves God, like sold out. This guy is sold out for Jesus. I'll say so because what I've seen of him, he's like extremely passionate about God. And I just couldn't help but fall in love with his character when I saw him. And today, the reason I invited him here is we want to talk to single people. Yeah, we're talking singlehood. He's organizing, can you believe it? He's organizing a singles crusade. Yes, there's a lot of single people out there. So he says, single people are really crying that it's hard to find a partner. So he decided with his team that, we're going to have a singles crusade. You can see that his background is gospel-related, Christian, because he calls it crusade. He doesn't call it, get together and what. But before I get carried away, Lebu, welcome.
Thank you, Isa, for having me, man. It's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. And thank you for saying, yes, let's have this conversation. You are currently working on a singles crusade.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Let's talk about that. What brought it? What gave birth to this concept? Because when I saw you on TikTok, you going on, and I was going through the comments, I was like, it looks like there's a lot of single people out there. Because the excitement, the way people were going on, what gave birth to this idea?
Sure, I completely forgot, but it was how it started was an answer to somebody commented. I was speaking about love and relationship in terms of how single people are complaining, and our generation, as we shared, I think on a call, that our generation is looking for reasons to not be in a relationship, whereas the older generation they looked for reasons to stay in a relationship. So then I asked the questions about the 90s. I'm like, why are we battling with relationship? And somebody then suggested on the comment and said, can you do a singles crusade? And I'm like, that would be an interesting thing to do. Then I answered that question and I asked people, like, interestingly, a singles crusade, what would you think about it? Where it would be a platform where single people would meet and talk about their challenges, their experience, and why is it that they're not having lasting relationships? And
Mhm.
looking from that, and everybody really came in and rushing from all different directions, from all different countries, saying that no, we interested, we want to do that, create a WhatsApp group, we want to do hiking. I'm like, okay, there's something here. And I let it for like a couple of days, and people were just commenting. And funny enough, it was women that was commenting mostly on that video about Pete Single's crusade. And I was like, very interesting that a lot of people that are coming out and they're saying that they're single, there's something here. So that's how it was birthed. And
okay, so on that, in your, because you know, as you say, you do a lot of content in terms of you did content on relationships and all that. Do you find that, and of course statistically women are more than men, that fact is a given, but we're not on that. Do you find that men don't come out that easily if they are single, or what? Why is it? Because generally when you see, I saw that the people who commented the most are women who are interested in this. And I know that we'll talk about it as we continue, that you are not looking at a women's gathering. You are looking at both genders, where we're saying, let's get males and females talking as to, you know, creating an opportunity to meet and all that. What is your own analysis in terms of why do we have more singles coming out than males coming out?
mm-hmm.
What is your analysis?
So my thinking with TikTok as so what I've seen a trend is this: when a guy does a video talking about relationships, it's only women that will comment on that post. If it's a woman talking about relationship, men will then comment on that post. So it's just it's a societal thing. But when it's men talking about relationship, it's a very, when it comes to social media per se, men don't tend to navigate and comment unless they want to add a 2 cents to it. But generally, they don't say anything. They just do your things and they just keep it moving. But women will comment more or less if you're good looking, with, if I say by myself. But when it's a woman saying the same thing, men will then jump in. If she's good looking, they will jump in and comment and add to what she said. So it's a more of, I think, I don't know how it's that, but even I myself, I rarely comment on when a man is posting something. So if it's a woman, I'm definitely going to comment. So I think it's a women thing type of situation when it comes to social media at large.
Okay, all right, I see. So then there was this excitement, create a WhatsApp group. Did you create a WhatsApp group? Did you create a WhatsApp group or you?
I did create a WhatsApp group. I think it was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then I deleted the group. Because I did a video, then I posted the link answering somebody can create a WhatsApp group. A few people, I think about over 30 people, saw that video. Then they got to the WhatsApp group. Then they started saying certain things. I'm like, whoa, is this a hookup? Are you gonna meet? I'm like, okay, this is a bad idea, because you starting off by this is a hookup. Wait a minute, ma'am. So then I saw the danger, and also one of my team advised that there's a danger here. Delete this WhatsApp group. And I went straight to TikTok, deleted the video, so nobody knows, except the 30 people that are on that on that WhatsApp group. And I also had to switch off the comments where it's only the admin that has to share some things, because they were saying a lot of things, and I'm at church and they saying, I'm like, there's gonna be danger, because now if it's going to be women and men in that same group, WhatsApp group, men will tend to take the numbers and call somebody, or the woman would do the vice versa. So there was a lot of dangers before even the event happened. So then we decided, let me try to delete the video. Then I told the people, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna create another separate group where I'm gonna give you the all information. So bear with me. Let me sort out all the administration, because I was also excited. I did that. Like, okay, they want a group. So in my mind, I'm thinking, these are grown folks, so they know how to behave. I was lying to myself.
And you realize that no. Nope, that's not true.
This is not gonna
Speaking
happen.
of that, Lebo,
One of the issues that we touched on when we were just talking, me and you, the issue of women taking the lead. You know, I don't want to say throwing themselves at men, maybe it's a wrong choice of word, but where you find that the women feel like maybe men are slow. So they take the lead. And I remember that I asked you personally, because now this is about your personal, another man may not agree with you, as to what does that say when a woman comes and be the one that takes the lead? What message does it send to you as a man?
I want to be very careful with the words I'm gonna use. But generally it doesn't end well for the woman when she does that.
Yeah.
But also let me add with this thought that women generally tend to give signals for the men to come approach.
Okay.
I will make this illustration where in the movies in the olden days, if a woman saw a man that she liked, she would then drop the handkerchief. Then the man would then pick it up and say, "Excuse me, miss, you dropped this."
Yeah.
So that was saying, sending a message to the guy to say, "My boy, look at me.
I'm
I'm
here.
interested." And because the boy saw the girl, it's like, oh, here's an opportunity. It's like, hi. And you see in the movie, then they start having that conversation. In a real world where you see somebody, let's say you are at a party and you see somebody, they see you. Generally, a woman has to kind of give you a signal with body or eyes, like, yo, hi. When you were in school, a woman would tell a friend or they would write a letter. So they always initiate that conversation or to get access to the guy. But in the new DNA age, it's very tricky. When you come into a man's DMs and saying, hi, I like you. No, don't do that. I wouldn't advise women to do that
You
because
wouldn't advise
you
that.
no, I wouldn't advise that. It's a very dangerous thing. And I've seen women do that to me. And I call them, there's a block party. So I block them. And because now there's a lot of people, a lot of women, there's a party. I'm just inviting you to that party. You'll meet other people in that where I block them. So I call them a block party because don't come into my DMs and trying to slide and trying to be cute and all of that. Don't do that. I will block you immediately. But if you come in with things that are, we can talk about 100%. But you saying I'm interested in you, ma'am. At a block party, I will blog you. You're gonna meet other people on that party, and you will talk on how bad the choice was, how rejected it feels, because we are used to
the rejection. Yes.
do it so often. We approach women so often and we get rejected so often because it's hard. So we've learned to kind of deal with it like, it is what it is. Other men that don't do it often, you would see them respond with the cussing at a woman or calling her names. Well, that's who you reject. That's like, no, there's a lot of women. I will go to the next one. And you tend to create different habits in terms of how to approach a woman. But as for a woman, you get rejected once. And I've seen women block me, and I'm like, yeah, that's good because I'm gonna take advantage of you. And I say this to my family and my people that if I wasn't saved, like if I wasn't saved, like I'm saved in the amount of inbox that I get and women just freely giving themselves, I'm like, I would take this opportunity and do a lot of damage to these people. But because it doesn't allow me to do that, I just block them and keep it moving. How you feel about that? That's your business. Shout out to you for taking the initiative and you revealing yourself and putting yourself out there and shooting your shot. Fortunately, it might work with me. It might work with somebody, some other guy. I've seen people say they got married because the woman shot their shot in the DM. Shout out to them. I'm not those guys. I'm not built like that. I don't even have the grace to allow a woman to come shoot their shot. So for me, or for type of men that I am or similar tendencies, I wouldn't advise you to do that unless you go on a face-to-face, have a conversation with them, feel them out, and understand in terms of where they're at. Not just come out and just say, I like you. And no, don't do that.
allow, and I think I brought this up so that we can be, because I realize that as you scroll through social media, there's a lot of advice to that effect, to say that, no, don't wait. If you see, you like. But one of the things you've said that is critical, that in the DNA of men, being rejected, because men are naturally pursuers. So it's in your DNA to deal with that. As a woman, it might just mess you up because you had the idea that if I approach, they're definitely going to be interested in me, and you find that he's not interested in you. So the shame in that, and or you meet somebody who will take advantage of you, and then you're saying, and then tomorrow, you, as you say, it generally ends in tears, you know. So just word of caution to our girls, our sisters out there, to say, be careful how you deal with that. It's a very small percentage that ends up getting married and living happily ever after. As we are about the crusade, we're getting to the crusade. But there's something that you said, which was we spoke about the other day. The one of the idea actually of what a relationship really is. You know, we said how most of our ideas of a good relationship are based on what we've seen on TV, what we've seen in the movies, more than really. So as the ladies are preparing themselves, because I know that girls most of the times are the one who are going to go there hoping that they're going to come out with a partner. And you are saying, let's create a platform to get to meet somebody, talk to that person, and see, not that you're going to meet maybe one person one day will have a conversation and you say, oh, they met at the crusade. But let us just talk about relationships, to say just a bit on that issue of this generation. Because of what we see, we are so quick to end. Let's just unpack a bit of that, because there was a lot you had to say that I found very interesting.
So, so with the Singles Crusade, the idea is to create a platform to saying that, okay, you as an individual, as a male and as a female, you are not having a good luck in terms of relationships, right? Which is, it's understandable, but let's look at the root cause of it in terms of your ideas of relationship, or your understanding of what the relationship is. And it has to start from home. It really has to start from home. The foundation of your relationship and how you relate to other people literally starts from home. Seeing it from your parents, seeing it from your uncle, seeing it from your aunties and your cousins.
Yes,
How you
yes.
relate as a family kind of lays a foundation in terms of how you're going to relate to friends, how you're going to relate to strangers, and how mostly going to relate to yourself. And we've seen the danger where we live in a country where family structure has been destroyed for centuries now,
Yes.
to the point
Yes.
where most people were raised by their grannies. Most people were raised by single parent. Other people were raised by aunties. So then you get to see there's a level of rejection if somebody was not raised by the paternal parent, because from that, and you get to ask yourself, why did they leave me? Why didn't they raise me? Right. So
Yes.
there's a lot of also how you identify with yourself. It's very questionable at best. So therefore, it's going to be questionable to other people, because your idea with meeting other people, you're always going to think that people are going to come into your life and they're going to leave you and they're going to reject you.
Yes.
And because we have not dealt with that root cause where we crash in terms of relationship at the foundation, we get into relationship seeking what we yearn from other people. And I spoke about, Gary, who speaks about the 5 love languages.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful piece of literature, and
Yes.
foundational at best, but not something I can suggest that we need to practice. And I look at the 5 languages. There's a quality time, whereas it says that you receive love when you spend quality time with the significant other. But the negative part of quality time is that you didn't spend time with your parents. So because of that void is missing. So therefore, you're projecting to that with other people, with your friends, with the person that you're dating. Then you have words of affirmation. This from a negative point of view, you didn't get words of affirmation from a parent telling you that they love you or they're proud of you. So
You're
therefore,
proud of
you
you've
look
done
into
well. Yeah.
you know, like I want somebody to tell me that they love me. You come from a single household. Your dad didn't tell you that. So therefore, there's that whole thing. Then you have gifts. You didn't receive gifts from your parents. So therefore, you're looking gifts to feel a certain type of way, which is good. I'm not saying, but it's a bad thing, because when you didn't, grow up receiving gifts from your parents, now your expectation, your identity is rooted in this, that I need to receive gifts, because it's something that you wanted at some stage. You wanted a bicycle, you wanted doors, you wanted a car, you wanted a gun. Your parents were not there, or they couldn't afford.
Yeah. On that, just on that, Lebo, I'm just thinking one of the issues that you've started on, which I want to build on. There's also the child who was raised by, where you've got blended families, where now there is mother who comes with the child, and in this family then they have their own children. So this child feels an outsider yet within. So it could be that because the father, as much as they loved the mother, they did not accept you. They actually bought gifts for these kids, and you who came, you never got to get. So then you grow up with this longing that somebody must show me that they love me by. I just wanted to add a bit on that. Yeah, and it's a whole topic on its own, that one. Hey,
I'm telling you, it is. That's a whole day topic. Then, because of that, with the love language, if you base your identity and you relate to love languages, the danger is you always looking at the positive aspects of things, but you also have to look at the negative aspects of what it is.
Yes.
Because as much as we love, and we all have love, there's other people that do not receive love. So they are looking for love in ways that no human being can put themselves in. You do certain things either with alcohol because there's the void that you need or that you lack. And at the core of everything, from family to friends to aunties and all of that, the foundation that I think most of us we miss is us having a relationship with God, because He's the one that created us. We function because of who He is. And when you look at scripture then allows us to saying that we were chosen in Him before the foundations of time to be holy, without defect, in love. Right. And God allows us to respond in love. But if we have not seen that love being demonstrated by our parents, by somebody that is close to us, we tend to mess that up, to saying that somebody must do certain things for me to feel, or to be appreciated. And if it's not done the way that I'm expecting it to be done, then that person doesn't love me.
Which is actually, you've touched on, and I want to agree with you that the void that may have been caused by our parents, because they were also human, they were also navigating from their own backgrounds and perpetually. Only when you allow God when you receive the love of God and allow Him to love you the way only He can, then expectations on human beings becomes less. Expectations on human beings becomes less, because now you know that only God can love you this way. Where, our parents, they had their own childhood experiences. So when they loved us, they love us because they were not perfect beings. Only God is perfect. So if we come into a relationship with the expectation that can only be filled by God, disappointment is bound to happen. So I love what you said when you say we must just allow God to love us and fill us with His love. Then we go, I always say to people, the concept of my better half, I don't subscribe to that. There is you come full. You come into a relationship a full human being, and then you meet another complete human being, and you have a wonderful experience with highs and lows of life.
Yeah. So I think we as human beings are very interesting. I love human beings, right? But sometimes I tend to look at really what's wrong with us, because we operate more on unmet expectations. Like we put just so much expectations on individuals, then when those expectations are not met, we disrupt, we get depressed, we become chaotic, even to our own self. And then the problem is, why are you mad because somebody didn't do what you expected? Because that same individual, they are still figuring themselves out, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's somebody that said beautifully, saying that when you are at 30, you can no longer blame your parents, which is true, because you are grown. But yet we live this life saying that if my parents could have, they should have. But now, the minute you understand how your parents function and how they grew up, you are able to understand that they did the best that they can, right?
Yes.
And I had the sense of also understanding how my parents raised me. It is a byproduct of how they were raised. And also looking at my generation in terms of my great grandfather, in terms of how he operated, how he grew, my grandfather and both families. It was very chaotic, to the point where my dad's dad wasn't present in his life. And when you hear the story, is he ran away when my dad was waiting to meet him at his work. That is traumatic. At a 15-year-old, you hear that your dad ran away from you.
Ran away.
My aunt, who's the last born, she was 2 years old when that happened. So she didn't see, her dad growing up. So that kind of messes you up a little bit. So then come back to him as a father to me and my siblings, and you get to see and hear how he grew up, and you get to see the things that he does, like, make sense.
It makes sense.
But also as an individual, you have to be in a stage where I need to put in work on myself.
Yes.
I know what I know what I'm struggling with. I know what are the challenges that I'm having. But my therapist told me this, that you need to go to your crash land where you crashed. And whereas for me, I crashed when I was 5 years old, when my grandmother passed away, because she was the person that I received, that I saw love from. That when she passed away, I made a conscious decision. I took a choice, and I put a wall around me that I'm not going to allow people to love me the way that she did, because people that love the way that she did, they always leave me.
Oh.
And which I didn't know. I only found out in my early 30s that, the reason you respond to relationship is because of that choice where you crashed, where everything fell apart. So I needed to go back and see when and how did I crash, and now started to pick the pieces. Now I'm able to see how I responded to this life. I was always defensive. I didn't allow people to come, because my response was, people are always going to leave. So I cannot allow people.
Yes.
Because I don't want to feel that pain ever again, because it's one of the most pain. So people live this life without understanding. They live responding by byproduct. Meaning my byproduct is, I'm expecting you to do this. But as for when you know who you are and content and understand that you are loved by God, you will move intentionally with love and not have expectation. So therefore, you're not going to be living life by the byproduct of love doesn't hurt, love doesn't do this. That's a byproduct of love. Love allows you to be content. When somebody comes into your space, there's that peace, there's that warmth and kindness that you have in your space. So therefore, people automatically wants to be in your space. Now, when people now are in your space and they are repelled, or they feel some type of way by your presence, not you speaking on the things, by your presence alone, or you need God in you. Because how do people want to run away from you? It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
But when people come in, all different, from kids to old people, they are just attracted by your presence. That means there's a God element. So therefore, that means you are content. You have a healthy relationship with God. And when you have a healthy relationship with God, that means you have a healthy relationship with yourself. And when you have a healthy relationship with yourself, you can have a healthy relationship with other people. So therefore, it becomes easier to relate to other people.
Oh, that's so powerful. And I hope that I really hope that though even somebody who's watching this conversation, if they were not planning to go, they think, I really want to be part of that, because you're gonna force people to go back to self and not expect anybody else to do the work that self must do. There's a concept that you say, there's something you said that reminds me of what I've seen a lot these days, where you say you're not going to come into love expecting love not to hurt. These days, there's this notion of saying, if you don't want to be hurt, don't have expectations. Move along. And I always say that when I listen to somebody saying that, I say, there's a work that you need to do on self. This is pain speaking. When pain then says, build a wall so that you are naturally, as individual, my take is that we are naturally born to have a certain expectation because God is love and God loves us. So love has an expectation. So if you're going to enter now into a relationship, it's a lie that you will enter into a relationship and not expect and not have expectations and say, I'm just going to leave. It's pain, it's hurt that speaks to that. So hopefully all those issues. But I love, I'm not sure if it's finally confirmed. You were saying by Ken Lamini will be the speaker, the speaker on the day. If he is confirmed and definitely there, then I know that, you know what, people are going to come out healed and the work will be, the work will have started already.
I did inquiry. I'm hoping that he gets to hear this. But here's the thing, man. Do this for us for pro bono. Because I don't know if he remembers me, and I told you that I did inquire when he was still staying in Eswatini.
Yeah.
Then I did call fire, and where he's at, I understand because the work that he's doing is phenomenal, and I respect that and the anointing
It's
that he carries.
amazing work, yes.
It is tremendous, and my prayer to God to saying that this man he's requiring this service and the amount of money. I looked at it, I'm like, Jesus. You need to open up your wallet, sir, because
Because yeah.
And look, I love his work. That is why I say if everything works together and he is there, I believe that you must have a box of tissues. You must make sure that the package includes tissues because there is going to be tears that are going to be shed because there's no way you can go back to your crashing place and not cry. There's no way. When you get there,
Hey, I didn't know that when you do a work on yourself, there's a part of you that needs to die.
Yeah.
Because when you go into that crashing or you work on yourself, whatever the area, there's the piece of you that you've been identifying for a lot of period of time that you've been carrying, which has been a lie.
Yes.
Now, when you then realize this is the person that I thought I am was a lie, you have to bury that person, and burying that person comes with mourning and tears and understanding like, oh, so I've been pretending to be somebody that I'm not. And it's one of the most painful but yet liberating feeling, because as you are crying and mourning this individual and understanding and seeing yourself for the first time, you also are being liberated, and the burden that you've been carrying, it's lifted up, to the point where, just to add on what you said, that whatever relationship that you're in, there's access that you are giving. You are giving somebody access, either a friendship, either a colleague. When you allow somebody into your space, you are giving them access to you as a person, as an individual. So meaning that you are vulnerable to anything that they can say, anything that they can do. So therefore, disappointment and unmet expectation and pain, laughter and joy, they are part of the package.
Yes.
The important thing is this, especially when you are in a relationship, that's the most vulnerable place you can ever be in, because you have given this person a key to yourself. You have told this individual about your trauma, about your limitation. You have told this person about who you are, where you lack, where you're going. So they have so much areas they can attack you in, whereas it leaves you vulnerable, how you respond to it is the most important thing or the most dangerous thing, because how they hurt you, you can either become chaotic and spiral out of control because you trusted this individual. It's a byproduct of you drinking whatever that you want to do that is chaotic. Or you will take it as a lesson to saying that I trusted somebody that I could not trust. I thought I can
Yes.
trust this individual with
Yes.
who I am, with the access
Yes.
that I gave. So therefore, I'm gonna be more cautious in terms of seeing how this person moved and looking at the patterns, so that the person that's I'm gonna bring into my life again, they're not gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna be very careful of the patterns, so that I do not find myself in a place where I'm very chaotic, or I'm thinking to do chaotic things, where I'm depressed or suicidal, or I just like say something like Botswana, like what's the point of being in a
Yes.
relationship, and generalize, women are all the same, women are dangerous, after Satan fear women, we be saying those statements, because women
Yeah,
are
yeah,
very
yeah.
dangerous, but they're very dangerous, but love them to bits. And it is
Yes.
then understanding to saying that it is one individual that did me the most. So therefore, why now am I guarded around other women that have the
Yes.
capacity
Yes.
help me be the best version of myself, or to take me to a place where I'm supposed to be, or give me the love that I'm expected from another individual?
That's so powerful, Lebu, because then as you're talking, I'm thinking patterns where the importance of coming, and I'm going back, the importance of coming back to self. You'll be able then to sit as a self and say, when I look at the trend of the people that I've dated, what is so common that I keep attracting the same people and getting back to the same point where I was, where its head is. Because if you sit, if the work on the self has not been done, that you get to realize that there's a role that I have played in attracting these people. Therefore, I need to begin to know me, so that I know that this is not acceptable. And I think also because these days, the dating, getting to know a person, you can never know a person 100%, okay? But before you can open up yourself and say, I love you, now you're my partner, get to know this person a bit, man. Come on. So as people are preparing to come to the conference, to the crusade, they must know that you can meet somebody and like them, but the more, we spoke about it earlier, or the other day when we were talking about you, that people see label and they love, and they think, such a God-loving person, then this is the ideal man, and get closer to him. Get closer to him and realize that, he's actually work in progress himself.
100%. No. Here's the thing. And my people know this. The people that are close to me, they know I'm a bit cuckoo. Like, something in my screws is missing. When I talk about God, I know who I'm talking about. Like, there's such reverence to God that I don't want to misrepresent him, because there's a creator of the heavens and earth. And like, dude can just destroy me at any given time. So the presentation, therefore, that's the one aspect that I love. Not only one aspect, I'll say one aspect, because that's my spiritual life, and my spiritual life covers how I respond to my finances, my emotions, my relationship, my career, and all of that, right? But what you see on the internet is not the whole aspect of who I am.
No.
Right? I still have family that I don't talk about, that you will never hear me talk about on my social media. I will talk about a bit of my business adventures, but just a bit. And also I'm not going to talk about my traumas. I will talk just a bit, but not in detail. So you don't get the whole scope of who I am. No, you will see the attractiveness in terms of this man. He's energetic. He loves God.
Yes.
Obviously, anybody that has Jesus, they are very attractive.
Of
Anybody that is carrying
course.
Holy Spirit, they are very attractive. They're good looking. But if you me outside Jesus, oh, you're gonna look at me like, well, I'm still amazing. But you're gonna be like, oh, okay. I thought you are well put together and all of that. I'm like, that's Jesus. When I talk about him, he comes through, he speaks. But when me, I'll tell you, I'm from the rural areas. I live in the townships. I grew up in the township, and one of the most dangerous things, you would think that I'm from the suburbs. Ma'am, I'm from the township. I'm still ghetto. I still respond ghetto at times. I still do things that I'm like, you would look at me like, but I thought you you speak and you are
Yes,
put
yes.
so therefore you wouldn't do. Ma'am, I would eat morogo. Don't look at me like
Maotwana, Mugodu.
nah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, nah. No, that's me. And I will randomly dance because I can. I'll randomly sing at a shopping complex, either I'm at Pick and Pay. I'll randomly,
Mm,
and and I say this because I can get away with it because I'm good looking, and I can sing too. But there's something missing about me, which in itself, if you think that I'm all put together, I want to embarrass you. I'm very
yes,
much capable of embarrassing you.
that's what I'm thinking
And not
now. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, that if this person comes and says, I'm expecting this perfect person, when you start doing these things, then you are in a queue at Pick and Pay or wherever, whatever retail shop, and you start singing, and then this person will be thinking, you're embarrassing me, because they wanted perfection.
and here's the word that I also learned this the word, what is the meaning of perfection? So perfection means to be complete.
Yeah.
We tend to that's what I learned, and kind of threw me a bit to saying that when somebody's expect you to be perfect, they are saying that they expect you to be complete. They expect you
Mm-hmm.
to be complete in your spiritual walk. They expect you to be complete in your mind in terms of how you reason, how you make them, laugh. They expect them for you to be complete in your body. You shouldn't have sickness. They expect you to be complete in terms of your career. You should have things figured out. You must have 5-year, 10-year plan in your career. They expect you that your emotional intelligence is on par, it's complete, it's lacking nothing. They expect you to, in terms of your finances, you as like a millionaire, you have a house, you don't have any debt. So that's what they're expecting when somebody says, oh, you are perfect, you look like a total.
Mm, mm,
Yes,
mm.
there's a certain area where I'm still lacking. There's certain
Yes.
areas in terms of my emotion that I still need to work on. There's still
Mm-hmm.
aspects of my social work that I still need to work on. There's certain aspects in my financial that I still need to work on. So I'm not complete. And as an
Yes.
individual, as a human being, we will never be complete. We will only be complete when we die. So therefore, when
Yes.
I put that expectation to say, nah, Isa must be complete, she or Rela must be complete because he's at a certain age. I'm expecting him to have a house, a car, he must be like has savings, he must be good. So when I come into his life, my life is gonna change for the better.
Change.
Ma'am,
Yes.
this is my life. My life, it looks for the better for me. I'm
Me.
taking care of my life. And I'm taking care of me because I spend most of my time with me. I know
Of
how annoying
course.
I am to myself. So I need a little bit coffee to calm me up. I need to celebrate me. So when you look at me, this is me celebrating me to say, I'm proud of you. You standing on business.
Mm,
You are
mm.
doing things for yourself, you're putting things, you're meeting people, you have purpose, you have drive, you are pouring into other people, you are praying for people, you are motivating other people, you want people to be better than themselves, you want people to be transformed so there's always a better version of themselves. That's what you do. So when somebody sees that, because I'm working in my purpose, I'm doing my purpose, people
Mm-hmm.
have a certain, then you come closer and you look at the closer and just like, oh, you just a basic dude. I'm like, yeah. In my life,
Yes.
I don't know. I'm always in the house chilling. If you want to see me out, I'm going hiking. If most of the time I'm at a coffee shop, but generally I'm a homebody. So my life is exciting to an extent
That, yeah.
that I'm allowing you to see it. But in most, I'm a very basic individual.
Basic. Mm.
Those are the realities that people must then, to say, the images and the ideas that you have in your head may not be the all. There's actually more to, there's probably there's more to a person than what you may see. So allow yourself then to get to know this person in their basic state, so that you can be able then to. So let's talk about the program, because we are almost running out of time. Let's talk about the program. um, how number one, where people were unhappy with you, age group, what is the age group?
Okay, the age group, what we've decided is 25 to 40.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is it's a very difficult thing to get a 40-year one man, 45-year-old to come to such a thing. And those men, because I'm speaking from a man point of view, A small percentage might go for their age group, but the majority, they will always go for somebody younger.
Younger,
So the old
yes.
women, like I'm 45, they're expecting that they're gonna meet a 45-year-old to come there, and it's like, okay, the 45-year-old will look at a 25-year-old, 27-year-old. They wanna be disappointed. So that we decided at 40. The date, it's on the 11th to the 13th of October. We're gonna host it in Rustenburg, Conca Tours. Beautiful place. Place in Rustenburg. So yeah, we're just waiting for people to come through. The whole weekend it's gonna be 2,500. For you to secure your space, you only need to pay 450. Then you have your space secured. Then you can pay the rest in the next 2 months.
Okay. So it starts on Friday. What time?
Friday, we'll give them the time. Probably arrival is gonna be after 2 o'clock. Then we're gonna have people just come in, get their rooms, freshen up. Then we're gonna do like a speed dating where everybody introduce themselves. If you see somebody that you like, kudos to you. Then we're gonna have dinner. Then we're gonna go to sleep. Then we're gonna have adventure games, fun games throughout the whole day. Probably late afternoon, then start to have those conversations where we start to peel off the layers. You start to understand yourself and also be realistic about your expectation as well. Probably late in then Sunday, we're gonna close off with conversations where it's gonna be more crying. We're gonna pray as well because we can't do these things with God. So the foundation has to be God.
It has to be.
My expectation as the organizing team, 50%, 60%, if you got somebody that you can go on a date with after the event and eventually get into a relationship and get married, that's good for us because now it's saying that the platform that we have created, it's working. So that we want more to come through and meet their person and fall in love.
But over and above that, Lebu, of course, if they meet somebody and fall in love, great, we're gunning for that. But I also think that if somebody can be healed, through the things that will be spoken, they get to realize certain things about themselves and say, I actually think I'm not ready for a relationship until I have dealt. I think there's things about me that I need to deal with before. That will be the greatest achievement because then it reduces the amount of heartaches that people will have because then they will begin working on self before they, so the outcome may be different for different. You're going to have 50 people who come with different expectations.
So,
yes.
I'm hoping
it's going to be very interesting.
Extremely.
But I think there's two exercises that I'm very excited.
Yeah.
There's two exercises that I'm excited for people to do. The first one is about trust. Whereas a lot of people, when I think we touch a bit on what trust means because people tend to go with this notion that they have trust issues, whereas it's very impossible to have trust issues. You are responding with an emotional response to what somebody did to you, somebody that you trusted.
Yes.
They disappointed you, they hurt you, they brought pain. So when you say you have trust issues, that's a byproduct of one individual that you gave access to, and they did you dirty. And also with communication, exercise where when I say I love you, to you it's a complete you hearing something else. I only said I love you, but how you spend the rest of my life with you. I'm choosing you. You are the only woman that I want. I don't want anybody else except you. I said I love you, but what you heard is completely different. So also how you communicate to other people or that individual, whatever that you say, they hear something else based on the experience. You also have to be aware that did you hear what I said or did you understood what I'm saying? And I want to also hear what you understood from when I said I love you. Because I just said I love you. But your interpretation of love is saying that I'm choosing you. I'm going to marry you. You're the only woman that I want. You're the only person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I want to make kids with you. I want to build a life with you. From just 3 words, you heard 6 statements.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As men, we tend to be loose about those words. But men that understands the power of words, they don't just say I love you. out of the bed, because it is the most easiest thing to say, because we understand the minute I'm possibly intentionally saying that she's the only woman that I'm choosing. There's no other woman in my life except her, and my eyes are completely for her. Have everything about her. She's for me, and that's where I'm excited in terms of how people perceive communication and also how they respond to trust. Because a lot of people tend to think that they don't have trust; they have trust issues only on one specific area, which can be romantic relationship. Whereas other areas they're very good when they do have trust, because I don't think you can ever trust.
Yes.
So I'm excited about it.
Exciting. I'm listening to you. I'm thinking, I think finances permitting, I'll just be part of the team, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited on how the crusade is gonna go, and I'm really looking forward to, if I'm not able to be there physically, I'm looking forward to the feedback from you on how it actually went. Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm saying I'm so excited, Lebo. I'm really looking forward to. I hope Mets, and I join you as part of your team, and Mets better Mets. I'm really looking forward. If I'm not able to make it, I'm hoping that you will then give me feedback on how it went. But I'm super excited about it. I'm really super excited about it. Your final words, your parting shots.
Sure. Love is beautiful. Love is contagious. Love is transformative. Love is wonderful. You matter. You should expect love. Everybody should be loved, and you shouldn't be afraid of love. But not just any love, but you have to start with the godly love for you to be able to respond with the love that God gave you, that He has shown you. And people are beautiful, and you should love people as God loves His people.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Love is contagious. Did you hear that? Love is contagious. It doesn't repel. It multiplies. So thank you so much, Lebu, for coming through. Family, you've heard it. So singles 25 to 40. Here's an opportunity. Make contact. We're going to put Lebu's details here and his TikTok handle. You can follow him on TikTok. But it's going to be beautiful. I believe more than anything else, we want people to be healed. We want people to be whole. We want people to be restored, because that is what God wants of us. He wants us to experience the beauty of the love that He has given us as our Father. And when we experience the fullness of God's love, we're able to love other people around us. And I know that we spoke, and I'm opening, it's not limited to Christians, label, right? So that now somebody says, this is a Christian thing. Love doesn't matter. It doesn't choose. So don't hold back and say, I'm not going to go because I'm not a Christian. It's not a Christian. It's open to anyone. But above all, we are saying we are God's people and God loves us, and we want you to experience love in your lifetime. So go and be part. I told Lebu that next time you must do above 40. So he's starting here. There should be another one for the above 40s so that they are not left out of the equation. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. And those that can make it to the conference, to the crusade, go and be part of the crusade. Thank you, Lebu. Thank you. We shall be in touch. Thank you for saying yes to being the part of the conversation. We shall be in touch. And family, until next time, you take care and you stay blessed.